Hello everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Walls of CCLP3. I am sorry for the delay in videos this past week. So this is kind of a funny story. My microphone broke, like literally broke, where the stem of it was one of those ones where like the actual mic was on a stem. That whole thing that bends, where you can kind of like pivot it back and forth, or whatever you call that, bend it basically. That whole thing broke off. And I tried recording a video, which is why you're seeing a solve time for this level here, where I was holding the mic in my hand while I was playing the game with the other hand, which would never work for CC2, let me tell you. But that never happened, so it was just a disaster. I'm just going to call it like nothing ever happened. We're just going to pretend like this is the first time, even though it's clearly not a first time play. I tried to put like 10 days between then and now, first to get a mic, which I finally did today, but secondly just to kind of maybe forget a little bit of these levels so I can go back and play them again. I'm sure I'm going to remember them, but yeah, I'm really sorry about this. It's been kind of a week. It's been a busy week, but it's been going pretty well, so I'm hoping to get back into the swing of recording this week, so I figured I would take some time tonight and crank out some videos. So let's go ahead and get started with Power Plant Peril. This level is based on Take the I Train, which is kind of an interesting wall pattern. I do not envy Josh for having to use this one. Yeah, this one is tough for sure. So one thing to note here, we're going to come back to that later on. For now, though, we're just going to keep moving onward here. Got to create a bridge. So I see here that the eye is basically converted into this water river thingy, whatever you want to call it. This section's interesting. What you have to figure out here is that you can't really do this without going through that trap thing over there. So that's pretty neat. And then this one's actually kind of a little tricky. This one actually kind of fooled me a bit. So you have to do this to hold down these two traps, right? And then we go down here to do this. And then we come back through the traps and then through this thing. Pretty cool. I like that section. It's a neat idea, and I really like the way it worked out. So this block is going to have to go over that way, so let's do that. It's actually kind of tricky because you have to turn it around here, which is pretty neat. Who am I kidding? I have clearly played this level before. I'm not even going to pretend. I'm very bad at that, as long-time viewers will probably attest to that when it comes to some of my more scripted Let's Plays. So this, whoa, I completely forgot that happened. So this is basically a chaos room here. Just got to escape before that fills up. And then we go in here. This is interesting because this cloner is on a delay, so you kind of have to just get behind it to go up here. So one thing I completely missed, which I think is really funny in hindsight when I first played this, was that I didn't realize that you could just bridge to this bomb by virtue of having the flippers. I think I was just really hung up on the fact that there was a socket in front of the key, and so my brain at the time was like, oh, you can't go there because there's a socket there, and that's for the end game, and of course you can go there. In fact, you had to go there in order to even do this. I really like that, by the way, the clearing of that area. So now we have a way back with the flippers in tow, which is pretty neat, and we can go through this little passage to get the green key. I like how there's a thief there just to take up the space. I mean, it's one of those things where normally you probably wouldn't even use something like that, but the fact that the wall pattern is there makes it necessary, which I think is kind of funny. Alright, this section, I recall this being fairly simple. Yeah, it's just doing that. Alright, and then we can just go over here and take care of this. Okay, so now we have fire boots, which means we can go back to the starting area. I'm probably going to shave off a ton of time in this run. I don't know if that that cloner is just there for fun. I'm assuming it is because of the space requirements, once again. Okay, a little bug here. Oh, and we have another one of these block things. Always a fun time. Okay. This part is a little tricky, or the next part, I should say, because it involves doing something that, at first, it feels like you could mess up really easily, but it's actually a lot simpler than it looks. Okay, I'll just do that. Alright, another pair of flippers, let's go. So we just need that chip that's not right there, because that's inaccessible, and we don't have dynamite in this game. But here's what's fun. Here we have this fireball cloner, and the goal, basically, is to get that button pressed like 5 times. And kind of what you have to figure out with this one is that you need to switch the toggles every time you do this, which is very interesting. In fact, I think you have to do this prior to hitting the button because you need the time to run up behind that cloner. So in some ways, this is sort of an extension of the cloner idea from earlier, which is pretty interesting. I like when levels do that. I think it's really neat when a concept is developed. But yeah, when I first saw this, I was kind of intimidated by it until I realized it was actually really simple. Alright, there we go. And then one more. And then we do that. In fact, this run-up is probably the easiest because we have a little bit of a shorter route to take. Okay, so now we can't really do anything here. Oh, there is, I think, a way to get to that hint, but I'm not going to try. Just going to go out through here and get the last chip. I don't know how you get to that button, by the way. It's probably with this bug, now that I'm seeing it. But I'm not going to attempt that. Yeah, this bug in the block. I like the fact that that's possible. That's pretty neat. Or as Josh would say, that's pretty cute. I also love how there's sockets here, as if this is like walled off. But you can just go right through there. Lots of not useful sockets in this level that add really cool aesthetics. So that's Power Plant Peril. Not my favorite level, but a pretty fun one nonetheless. I liked what it added to this set as far as like a kind of messy level. I think it worked really well on that front. But speaking of aesthetics, let me introduce you to Slime Field. Oh my gosh, this level, I was fawning over this in the recording that never was. This is a really interesting blob-themed level. Except it's not like any blob-themed level that you're probably familiar with. For one thing, it doesn't really have a whole lot of dodging in it. I feel like we had this talk a few episodes ago where I was kind of like, I want to see more blob levels that don't have the typical dodging, you know, gravel-filled area kind of thing going on. Well, this level definitely fits that bill. Like, it is very well done. I mean, it has these kind of things. There's a couple of these little rooms where you dodge blobs. But a lot of the level is just exploring and opening up areas. Like, this right here, this reminds me a lot of Amethyst Mine from Josh L6. And I don't know, it just feels cool. I don't know what it is. It's just a really neat feeling level. And it's hard to describe why it works so well, except that it's really neat. And I really like it. This part kind of reminds me a little bit of, oh, what's the name of that level? Polarity Isle from Walls of CCLP3, except much simpler than the suction boot room there. That room had like, what was it, 3 phases? I think it was 3 phases, right? I want to say it was 3 phases, but anyway. Yeah, there's so much about this that I think it's just the way things open up that's very satisfying. And this is something that I always go on about, like the process of getting things unlocked in a level. When that is fun, it usually means that the level as a whole is fun because it's tied to the overall experience so much. Okay, I don't remember... Oh wait, I do remember. I have to do this other one first. There's another button over here. that I have to hold down to get to that. Yeah, a lot of the stuff in the level is fairly simple overall. It's not like this is excruciatingly hard. I feel like this could have actually been put earlier in the set, but there's one puzzle coming up later that is a little tricky, and you'll see it when we get there. In fact, I'll probably have trouble with it, so you can look forward to the struggle busing. Does anyone ever say struggle busing anymore? I feel like that's a thing of the past now. There we go. So yeah, this past week, this has been quite an interesting week. For one thing, the cast of the Mario movie got announced. Did y'all see that? That was wild. Let me tell you, that was. I feel like this movie is going to be either it's going to be really enjoyable for either all the right or wrong reasons. And right now, I'm leaning on wrong. Because, man, this thing looks like a giant meme, and I'm all here for it. I don't mean that to be disparaging. I mean that, like, they're really going all in on the memeability factor. Okay, this puzzle right here, this Sokoban is really cool. I like this one a lot. So, I want to say what you have to do is you have to basically get 2 blocks right there, and then the other 2 can go down here. But one of them will have to come back out in order to be leveraged, I think. I want to say that's how you do this. But I could be misremembering. In fact, I think you have to put that there for now. And do this. So now I just need to figure out where everything else goes. The tricky thing with this is you basically have to get a block up through here, and that's what's kind of a little awkward. Except it might actually just be this one. Wait, no. Hang on a sec. I know there's a way to do this. This is where the struggle busing is totally about to happen here. And I don't think I'm going to beat my time on this one, so. Oh, boy. Like, putting those there seems so useful. So, like, if I were to go up here, right? So let's say I push this left block up using the recessed walls. My concern is that I then won't be able to really grab and turn around the block over here. Right? Because, like, I don't see how you can do that. That's a problem. And if I push this to the right, then I can't really go over here. Like, I'm gating that off, so that's not really doable. So I might... Have I screwed this one? I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes with a puzzle like this. I'm just looking right now. Like, if I go up here, I'm pretty sure that's not really salvageable. Pretty sure. Unless, hang on. Can I put that way over there? I don't think so. I'm trying to see if I could put the block like right in that position, but I don't see how that would happen very easily. Yeah, I don't know about this. This seems like I messed up fairly early on this one. Oh, unless, hang on. No, that's still not possible. I was thinking maybe if we went over here with the block we push up, but I don't think that's really going to help at all. Why am I struggling on this one so much? This shouldn't be that hard. I keep like moving these back and forth, just trying to visualize stuff because it's half the battle when you're live playing this kind of thing. So yeah, let's just do it. Let's commit. So yeah, if I push that right, I'm screwed. And if I push this left, I think I'm also screwed, right? Because then I can't turn that around. See, I don't see how you can do this unless there's some magic way with doing it like this, but even that I can't see how you can turn anything around over here. Yeah. I think we're gonna have to restart, which is a bummer. I was hoping we could breeze through these early levels here, because the next level is where I got really frustrated and I just could not hold the mic and concentrate on the game anymore. So we'll get there, but yeah, the Mario movie. Chris Pratt as Mario. That I can see maybe that working out, but like right now I just cannot imagine it. I really can't. I don't know, I think if he, because he mentioned, I think he was on an Instagram story that he's going to have to change his voice or something like that. If he does, maybe it could be good. I don't know, maybe there's something in his performance that's good, but there's a part of me that's looking at this and kind of going, okay, this is definitely a very Hollywood-y movie, you know, it's star-studded with a lot of big names and stuff. Which, don't get me wrong, it's not like that means it can't be good. It's just, it clearly shows where the priorities are, I guess, is what I'm getting at there. It's like, if that's what's being communicated, I'm not sure if that bodes well for the movie, which is kind of where I'm a little nervous. I will say, though, Charlie Day as Luigi and Jack Black as Bowser, to me, those are like the most inspired casting choices. Like, I feel like Charlie Day can really knock out a very kind of nervous performance as Luigi. And, like, Jack Black as Bowser, like, he's already so over the top. I feel like he could really, like, and he has a very deep kind of voice, too. I don't know, I just feel like he would be perfect for that. Oh, good. I was like, wait a minute, did I screw that, too? And I just realized I could do that. But yeah, either way, I'm going to go to see it, and I'll probably be really entertained by it. But I'm just wondering, am I going to be entertained for the right reason, or am I going to be entertained because it's just really cringy stuff? Come on, Blob, just go over there. Thank you. Alright. Go over here. Get this red key. I wonder if you could... No, I don't know if you can die there. Like, if there was, like, perfect blob movement toward you. Maybe in Link's there would be. I don't know. That'd be interesting to see. Alright. So, we're back where we were. I need to kind of retrace where we committed to that first block. Maybe positioning both those blocks on the right was not the correct way to do this. Okay, so that I think we need to do. I'm just looking for now. I do think that doing this is correct. I do think that that is correct. It's just a matter of, like, what happens after that. And you know what? Maybe it's a lot simpler than I thought. There. Why did I make that so difficult? Oh my goodness. Okay. So we'll come back to destroy those bombs here in a minute, but for now, I'm just looking at what we're dealing with here. I think I see, though. That's cool. I like that. So yeah, this... Oh, I haven't mentioned what walls these use yet. This level uses the walls of the Aftermath, which is a very interesting wall pattern. I used it for a level very recently called Forbidden Island, which is named after the board game of the same name. And I kind of gave it this sort of like broken down island feel, but this is... Honestly, I like this even more. I think this level is just... It's so interesting as far as like how it takes this aesthetic and just really runs with it, you know? I just can't stop fawning over it. It's just that much fun for me. I think I'm going to give this high marks in CCLP5 voting. I think my only caveat is that room right there being so close to the end of the level. Like, optimizing that's going to be a pain, potentially. Alright, we beat our time, too, so I'll take back what I said earlier. We managed to get through it without wasting a whole lot of time. Well, except for the retry. Okay, Nuclear Unleashed. This level is... I don't know how to describe it. It's a very interesting jumble of a bunch of stuff. So the first thing is that this might look a little familiar to some of you out there who watched the Josh L6 Let's Play. And that's because this is Claustrophobia Road, like the level Claustrophobia Road pasted into this level. Which itself is the walls of Chip Alone Lost in Chip City. This is fascinating. I don't quite know what I think of it as a level yet. I'm going to have to get to the end, which I have not yet done. But, yeah, there's a lot to discuss here. First of all, you don't actually take all of those blocks out of the room, at least as far as I know. There's a lot of things in this level that aren't even used, and I think a lot of it comes down to the confusion wrought by this Claustrophobia Road bit here. So first things first, I need to get the chip here. But second things second, I need to get that pair of skates so I can go through this area. So you'll see that there's an exit there, which in the original Claustrophobia Road, that's where you exited. I don't think that's where you exit here in this level, though, and I'll show you why later. Alright, so we get those stolen, and here we have a chip that I'm not going to collect because you'll see why here in a sec. Alright, so then we have this Sokoban here, which is pretty simple. You just have to do something like this. I say it was simple, and then I got really nervous there. And we're going to come back to that green door bit later on. Alright, so now we go up here. And this is why we want to avoid getting the chip for now, because of that. Alright, so now we go into this area with the glider. And it's pretty simple. You just need to lead the glider out over this way, but you have to also block up the passage to do it. So, kind of interesting. Okay, so now we go into this room, which has a bug. And here we get this option to go through there, but we can't get any red keys, so let's go. This room looks a little intimidating, but it's actually fairly easy. At least I thought it was. Now I'm going to have to remember how to do it, but, oh yeah, you just do this because you can just loop around there. Yeah, all you have to do is just position these blocks like this, and like that, and then just make a loop. Pretty simple. There wasn't really a whole lot going on in this room. Alright, and then once we go over here, there's a teeth that's off screen that's going to start up this this fireball cloning machine. At least I think it's a teeth. I mean, I guess that would make the most sense given how that triggers and how we're not involved with it. So this room actually kind of tripped me up at first. I thought you had to use the block to do that, but ultimately you're using the block to get back over here. and push your way kind of billiard style through that fireball mess there. Okay, so now we have access to these fire boots, which is great. I can also get all these keys to take into this area, which is also nice. Alright, this room. This room is funny because it reminds me a little bit of a level that I made back in the JBLP1 era called Prehistoric Peril, which is a reference to Pac-Man Adventures in Time. And you know that because it has the word peril in it, which that game loved to use. Alright, so we got that. Now I can send a glider into the bomb over there. Fun. Okay, and then we go back. Thankfully, you don't need the fire boots to get those. Alright, so now we drop into here. This is where the level gets a little funky. So, we can explode that. So, I think what threw me off about this is that a lot of the stuff going on here in the original level ends up not really being all that necessary, weirdly enough. Like here, you would think, oh, you know, I don't want to go through there because I might get hit by the thing, and it turns out that's not even an issue. Also, did I miss a key? I think I might have missed a key. Or did I use a key that I wasn't supposed to use? I hope I did not. I feel like I was supposed to have a red key on me when I walked in here. Unless that it's under the tank, but I thought that's for the other red door. Alright, well, this is awkward. I can't go through that yellow door because I know that ball is going to get me if I do that. Let me just look around and make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't think I am, though. I think we are screwed. Oh, wait, no. We can go through here. Yeah, this is how you get it. Okay, good thing I checked. I forgot that this existed, but thankfully you can come back to it later. And there's the exit that I think we're eventually going to go to at the end of the level. And I say I think because we haven't made it that far yet, so... Alright, so here's where I can get this. Okay. So now I can sneak back here, open that up, go through here, and sneak around to here. I see a socket there with a block next to it. I don't know if that's actually useful or not, or if that was a part of the original level that I'm just forgetting, but either way, we can't really go back through that area, so I'm just going to escape out this exit here. Yeah. So let's just go through this door. And the other thing you have to keep in mind with this room is that you kind of have to clear a path out with these blocks. But you have skates to do so, which is kind of annoying. So this is where my adventures on the level got a little weird, because here in this area you have to lose your boots, right? And then you get skates, and you can clearly see there's a blue door there through which you go up through a teleport, right? Yeah, that part I don't get, because here I'm gonna have to lose my skates again, unless these are the last few chips, and maybe that was a mistake I made. I think it actually was. Now I'm seeing it now. Yeah. I had a chip left over when I went there earlier. That's where I went wrong. Okay, that makes so much more sense now. And thankfully this is pretty simple. You just bridge like this. Okay, so that actually ended up being a lot simpler than I was making it out to be. You did not want to see the original recording of this. Like, I think I died or cooked the level 12 times or so because I kept messing up certain rooms, or I got to the very end and I made one little misstep, you know, that kind of thing. So anyway, I'm glad it's done. All in all, I have to say this level is not really one of my favorites in the set. I don't think, and I think part of it is just the fact that Claustrophobia Road by itself is so cool. And this usage of it, for me, just really didn't do much for me. I don't know, I just didn't find it all that interesting. So, the rest of the level, to me, didn't really add a whole lot else either. So, I don't know. I mean, there was some individually interesting stuff there as well. But overall, it's not really one of my favorites. I think this was one of the first ones made for the set, too. Okay, Flutter Junkyard. Okay, we're in Uncharted territory now, and I see that there is a glider clone machine here. So I feel like we're gonna... In fact, let me start over. So that way... I mean, not that this really matters, I guess, but... Alright, I'm going to go through the level and just do what's required, and then we're going to figure out the path to get all these sockets where they need to be. Because I'm assuming we need to lead a glider somewhere. So this is definitely triple maze. Like, it has to be. The walls on the edge, and the way that the bombs are placed. Like, I want to say those bombs... Like, the way they're placed is exactly from Triple Maze. Pretty sure. I'm trying to take, like, the most middling paths I can find. I really hope this is not one of those levels that is better done on paper. I'd like to think this is not going to be all that complicated, right? Like, I hope not. Wait, I just saw the green key somewhere here. There it is. Okay, how do I get there? Is it around here? It is, okay. Okay, so I got all these keys. So the question is, does this lead to some kind of... Like, does this lead to, like, a point where I have to press the button? It does. And I'm going to assume that I only get one shot at this thing. So, let me look around. And see what we're dealing with here. Oh, hey. Walls and bombs from Triple Maze. Okay, so they did... Or Josh did include bombs. Okay, so the glider starts at the top, so I'm going to assume it's somewhere down here. You down here? Ah, there you are. So it's this right here. So immediately I'm struck by the fact that it seems like I'm going to have to have the glider come in this way. Like this, just by virtue of how that ending is set up. And maybe it can come from up here? I'm trying to work my way backward through this path here. Although, I kind of also want to use the starting point here. So can I go... Here's the question. Can I send the glider down, like, through this row? Like, the second row? Because all the bombs are in the same rows and columns. Which, in some ways, is, like, the biggest blessing in disguise. Like, seriously. It really is. And I think the answer is yes. I want to say it is. So, if it comes down through this column, let's just hypothetically say that that is the case. Is there a way to force a turn? And I'm now kind of a little bit less sure of that. Unless there's a dead end kind of thing somewhere. Oh wait, here we go. I think this will do. Let's give this a shot. I think this will work. And if so, that's pretty simple overall, which honestly at this point I don't really mind. So glider goes through here, it goes all the way into that area, and then it takes a downturn over here, keeps going, going until we get down over there, and then it just takes a left and then goes down. Okay, got it. Okay, so yeah, Flutter Junkyard. Every time I hear the word Flutter, I actually have an association with that word from my college years, where one of the dorms was called the Flutters because apparently they had like an incident happen back in like the 70s or something where somebody flooded the place, I guess. At any rate, that was a pretty neat idea. I don't know if the scale of it was really all that necessary, but that's a Walls of kind of issue and not so much a Josh issue. I would be interested in seeing this concept taken maybe a little further. I could see this making like a really interesting iterative level where maybe it starts off really easy, but then you get into like more complicated rooms where you kind of have to be very careful about where you step. I feel like there's been a few levels like that already, but I think you could do something new with it. So I'm gonna have to look into that. Okay, Ghetto Hitman Task Force. Traps are connected horizontally. There are exactly 10 blocks to use. Walls from billiards. Oh, I shouldn't have read that, but oh well. I think I've seen this in the editor anyway. Yeah, I remember seeing this level. I didn't really look much at it, but okay. Interesting. So what I'm getting here is, let me just get a read on this. I see, oh, the password is IKEA. That's pretty cool. Okay, so the traps are only held down to release the blocks, right? Like, I don't see any need in the level to hold them down with blocks. I only need to step on them, right? Okay, so I'm going to try to get these ones on the left side first because I can see already that this is going to be kind of an undertaking. So let's work on that. I'm also assuming that the name of the level is supposed to reference the fact that there would be thieves here if you were playing on like the MS CC tile set. This also kind of reminds me somewhat, not exactly, but somewhat of Let Us Be Superior from Josh L5. I kind of like how you have to build up to these paths in a way. Okay, I need one more. The thieves also add a little bit of extra care that you have to take as well. I guess I didn't have to take the first block onto the whole slide thing that we were making here. Ooh, that's dangerous. Okay, so at this point I can just put you here. Okay, let me come back to you in a sec. I see we have some stuff going on here that might be a little concerning. I need to fish all this out. I also wonder if there's extra blocks. Because I want to say, was it 6 in the original? Because like the billiards table has like 6 things, obviously, the 6 pockets. And I recently optimized that in links. I should know this. I feel like I'm completely blanking on this. I'm just wondering if there's extra blocks. Oh well. I'm going to proceed like there's not, and just hope for the best here. We are getting late into the set, so I'm fully expecting some tough stuff to deal with. Okay. So the next one that requires some nailing is over here. Okay. This looks a lot simpler. I only need 2 here. Yeah, that's pretty simple. Okay, so I'm seeing here that there are some of the chips that are not in the pockets, so to speak. So I'm gonna guess that there are not extra blocks. I'm gonna go with that. Ooh, this looks tough. Actually not, though. I'm also hoping the time limit's enough, although I feel like we're taking care of like the hardest stuff right now, so I don't think it's really going to be that big of a deal. Okay, wasn't there... Yeah, there's this one. Getting it out of this area is really awkward. I mean, thankfully, you don't have to take the force floors, you could just do what I'm doing right here. But it's like, the force floors are so tempting in a level like this. Okay. So, I'll come back for those later, but I can already see that we're going to have to have like at least 2 blocks per trap setup over here. Oh crap. I did not mean to do that. I think that's salvageable. Let's work on that. This will be our first post left side thing to do. I'm hoping that I don't mess anything else up by virtue of trying this. Man, this level would be a monster pain to optimize, I'll say that much. Wait. That's not the trap? I thought that was the trap I held down. Oh my gosh. What trap did I end up holding down? You know what? I'm not going to worry about it. Anyway, the hint said it was horizontal, so I thought I did that, but apparently I did not. And it's... But, by the way, I'll just say right here, you don't have to tell me in the comments where I messed up. I know I messed up, okay? I'm sorry if I'm sounding harsh about that, but I don't need people saying, oh, you could have done this more optimally this way in a level set playthrough that's very casual. I'm not trying to be harsh or mean about that. It's just enough energy is used up playing while recording and talking. Like that's a very I don't mean to sound like I'm making a bunch of excuses or sounding like I'm going through like a pity party or something like that. I really don't. I'm just trying to present like what it's like to talk on camera and also use a lot of mental heavy lifting to do a lot of this, and things that might seem obvious to you watching this are almost certainly not when you're in the position of recording. So I just want to put that out there. I want to just reiterate, I do appreciate the comments a lot, but I don't need to hear, oh, you could have done this, you could have done that, you could have done this, you could have done that. Like, it gets a little tiring after a while. So I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to belabor the point. Just please chill when it comes to that kind of comment. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right. Let's get this out of here. It is also, by the way, for that reason why I played a lot of puzzle games early on in the channel's run with a more scripted Let's Play, because I just did not feel very comfortable playing in front of the camera for people who were just going to make those kind of comments. So I'm still getting used to that, for what it's worth. Maybe I haven't quite gotten used to it yet. Anyway, this level, I don't know what to think of it so far. It's an interesting idea, but I feel like it's a little tedious. And a lot of that's just the wall pattern, I think. Okay, we have one more. Oh no, we don't. I guess we don't have one more. It's interesting how the blocks are just kind of all over the place in this one. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm also trying to remember which directions the Force 4s are pointing. That's the other thing I'm having to juggle here while I'm doing this. Because I don't want to accidentally expose the wrong, like, thing here. Like, let's say that was up. Like, that would have been really disastrous. Okay. So let me plot this out. So if I go over here, I suppose we could just start from the top down, right? It's like, if I did that, and then I got one of these... Oh, wait a minute. I don't want to accidentally release that. That's an interesting challenge, by the way. Okay. So now let's release it. So can I fish that out? I think, yes, I can get it here. Interesting how the walls from the original are placed in these very inconvenient spots. I think that's really interesting. Okay. Okay, so now let's push that one. Thankfully, this right side is at least a little bit more forgiving, it looks like. Oh wait, there's one down there. I missed that. Thankfully, we have a bunch of blocks to use, which is really helpful. Okay, so... Wait. Did that not release it? Oh, I bet I... No, I would have pushed it, right? Okay, I don't know what's going on with that, but that's a little concerning. The good news is, we only have 2 left, and I think... Wait, don't tell me I wasted blocks here. Is there not another block? Oh, there it is. Okay. Thank goodness. Okay, so at this point, I pretty much have to try this. Wait, I thought that would have... What? I thought that... How does that work? I thought that would have stuck there. So why would that... What? I am so confused with how that works. I don't know what I did wrong there. So, okay, this time I am asking the audience for some insight on this one. Okay, I am actually asking. This is an invitation, because in this case I actually am confused. And I don't know what I did wrong. So, I'm providing you with consent to tell me what I did wrong in this case. And the reason why it's okay in this case is because it's actually constructive. It's not just an opportunity to say something when it doesn't even need to be said. Oh my gosh. I knew that this was going to eventually happen in a level, this video. I should have known with how breezy everything was going at first. I just didn't think it was going to be this late. Alright, so here's what I'm wondering. How does that work when a button... So I had to assume that I didn't... Like, if I were to go back and look at the footage, I probably did not push that block into the trap such that it was sliding, because the button did not release it. And I know that it works like that. I know that part. But what I am wondering is, why did, in that case, the... so like over here, so let's say I go up here. I'm able to travel across this without that coming off, right? And is that a result of the button being pushed like after the fact, like before I went in? Or I guess before the fact, technically? So to be clear, in this case, I'm genuinely asking that question, because in this case it is helpful. And it is relevant to potentially playing future sets when I do Let's Plays here. So there's actually a reason for it beyond just leaving a comment. Sorry, I know I'm sounding really picky about that, but it's something that's been bothering me a lot in like the last year or so, and it's one of the reasons why I stopped uploading videos after a while, because for a long time I was getting comments that were just like that. And it wasn't just from any one person, it felt like it came from a lot of different people. And it really just, it got to the point where I'm just like, if this is all that's going to happen here on YouTube, I don't know if I want to do it. So I figured, now that I'm back on YouTube, now that I feel more comfortable in my own skin, I'm going to be very upfront about how I feel about that. And if that bothers people, then that bothers people. But I figured it wouldn't hurt to be at least forthright about it, and just to draw a boundary there. And I think this is a good constructive like example here of like, hey, this is something that can help me as someone who's actually playing the game, where you get to, you know, with your knowledge of how this works, you can help in terms of my understanding of that. Whereas like if you leave a comment saying, you could have done this, you could have done that, you could have made this one move here to shave off time, or, you know, all this stuff, like, that's not going to be helpful to me after the video is uploaded. Like, I'm not going to be looking at that level much in the future, for the most part. So, like, you see the difference? Like, I guess I hope I'm communicating this in a way that makes sense. But anyway, yeah, that's the reason why I'm bringing it up here. I was, there came a point where I was just like, I've had enough of this, you know. I just didn't really want to deal with it anymore. But now that I'm back, I'm officially drawing a boundary here, and I'm saying, if you're going to leave a comment, please be a constructive comment. And I do kind of abide by the whole, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all principle either. So, I'm not saying, you know, everything has to be, you know, fluffy rainbows and stuff like that. But just be mindful of how you're coming across to someone, especially a stranger on the internet. Alright. So, I'm going to try to be careful with these traps. I feel like in Lynx, it's more consistent with the way the buttons, or the nailing on the traps works, for lack of a better way of putting it. Wait a minute here. This is a little concerning. Okay, there we go. I should have noticed that first. Let's go there. See, I'm beginning to think that when I did this earlier, I did not actually approach this from there. I think I might have just done it directly from that row. So here's my hypothesis. I think what happens is, in this case, I pushed it right and then I hit the button. And of course, hitting the button, because it wasn't sliding, it doesn't actually accomplish anything. But now that it is sliding, it comes out of the trap. In Lynx, it's basically like a directional thing, where it's like the direction that it's headed into the trap kind of dictates a lot of stuff. Oh, I forgot about this one. Hopefully I have enough blocks for this. I'm a little concerned. Please tell me I did not waste some blocks here. Oh boy, I am nervous. Although, wait a minute. Is it possible? Hang on. I'm thinking... because we only have 3 chips left, really, because that one we've already blown. So I think we've actually exhausted everything. I think it's just these 3 blocks left. Which means we're in trouble. We are in big trouble. And now I'm seeing a way I might have been able to avoid this. I could have done a ram if I didn't already push this here to the left. Oh my gosh. I am not... yeah, this level... I'm not a fan of this. This is... like, you have to be so perfect in this section, which is already pretty troublesome. I do not see a way to do this, guys. I'm so sorry. Like, if I could just ram that block there on this force 4 above me, that would be great. I'm not seeing how to do it, though. Yeah. I'm going to restart. Sorry this has to end on such a downer note. I'm still trying to get back into the swing of this and just being comfortable in front of the mic. By the way, speaking of mics, hopefully the mic quality is sounding good. I'm trying to invest a little more in this, and if I can get to the point where I can get editing software and really start doing a little bit more editing on these, that would be also nice. But it's all a matter of time and money, and that's kind of the struggle for everybody these days, I suppose. Alright. I guess we're just going to have to go through this. I hope whatever is next after this first room is not going to be that hard. Because this... It's not so much that it's hard, it's just really tedious. And the tediousness is rather it's rather tiring after a while. Okay. So this was the simple one. You just have to do this thing. Okay, and that's a right-facing force floor. So that's fine. Alright, so next up is this. There's like a grand total of 4 of these things. These nail things here. Yeah, I would not want to optimize this. This is... Okay, that one's also right. This is really tough. Okay, so then we go over here. This part of the level feels very bottlenecked because of the way these force floors and thieves are arranged. I'm sure there's a faster way. Also, I didn't think about the fact that now there's a block there on the left, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. I don't think, because we're going to have to get another 2 there anyway for the remaining bomb, or 1 for the remaining bomb. And the stuff here on the right doesn't really involve that many blocks at once, which is helpful. So that's at least a relief. Okay. I'm trying to just be very careful not to accidentally step in some kind of force floor trap. Okay, I thought it was left, but I just couldn't remember. Okay, so blow that. See, I think like hitting that button there, like that doesn't really do anything. It's more like after something goes into the trap that it becomes a problem. So let's start from down here. Okay, get that one. Okay, yeah, see, nothing happened. So I have to assume that the way this works is basically, hey, you have to basically not hit the button if the block is not facing in a sliding direction, which is a little bit of an unfortunate side effect of the MS rule set, more than anything else, I think. But it is what it is, you know. Okay, the good news is there's at least 2 of these remaining ships that are not behind a nail, so I feel at least somewhat consoled by that. I just need to do that. Come up here. Do this now. Then I can grab one of these other ones, and I think we should be on our way. Whoa, I almost stepped into that. That would have been really unfortunate. So I'm going to go ahead and just admit right now, this level is not really one of my favorites. It's an interesting idea, and it's got something interesting in its DNA. But I think the fact that this is so big kind of kills the momentum for me. And a lot of that is just the whole... It's just the walls of set nature things. It's not Josh's fault. It's just the way this set is made, and the fact that this room is so big in the original source material. So I totally understand that struggle. But I would be curious to see what could be done with this with a somewhat different idea. And I would be curious to see this idea done smaller. Okay, so what do we have here? Oh, I'm nervous. Oh boy. Do I have to go down this way? Oh. Okay, I don't know. I'm trying to, like, get a glimpse. Okay, good. I don't know if you can lose in this room. Like, I'm seeing this setup here, and this looks possible no matter what. Oh, now I see. We have to go through this maze now. Kind of reminds me a little bit of, what was the name of that level from Josh L 7? Oh. I'm sure I'll remember it at some point. But it's that one level with the thieves and the suction boots and the force floors. It had this kind of double maze idea with them, which was pretty neat. Alright, everybody, I'm going to stop there for tonight. We've been going on at it here for quite a while now. Thanks for putting up with me for that last level. We sure took a lot of losses there, but you know what? It is what it is, and I hope the video was still enjoyable despite that. So, until next time, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed yourself today, be sure to leave a like and a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already for more Chips Challenge and hopefully other stuff here in the future as I get more situated. But until next time, thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the flip side. So take care and see you then.